Welcome. In this video, we are going to learn one of the most important ideas in Python programming, especially for AI systems used in healthcare. We will talk about classes and objects. Don't worry if this word sounds unfamiliar. We will take everything step by step, slowly and clearly. Throughout the entire video, we will use one example only, a patient. This will help you stay focused and see how everything connects. In healthcare AI, we deal with patients, lab results, diagnosis, and risk scores. Each patient has data. Each patient also has behavior like checking risk or preparing features for a machine learning model. Classes and objects help us organize all of this in a clean and safe way. They make our systems easier to understand, easier to maintain, and safer to scale. Let's understand what classes and objects are. A class is a blueprint. It describes what something should look like and what it can do. A patient class describes what data a patient should have, what actions a patient can perform. An object is created from that class. It represents one specific patient. If the class is the blueprint, the object is one patient created from that blueprint. In healthcare AI, this structure is critical. Each patient object keeps its own data separate and organized. This reduces errors and improves machine learning model reliability. Let's write our very first class together. We will start simple and build it step by step. This is the smallest valid class in Python. We just start with the keyword class, then we give the class name. By convention, class names start with a capital letter, so we write patient instead of patient. The word pass tells Python to do nothing for now. This lets us define an empty class that we can expand gradually. Starting simple like this is important when you are learning. It helps you focus on one concept at a time. Now let's add something called a constructor. A constructor is a special method that runs automatically whenever we create an object from a class. In Python programming, the constructor is always named double underscore init double underscore, also called render init. So we use the keyword def to define a constructor. Right now, this is an empty constructor. It doesn't do anything yet, but it gives us a place to define and store patient data as we build our class. Think of it as a setup area for each new patient object. Now let's add attributes one by one. Attributes are variables that belong to an object. They store information specific to that object. Let's add some patient attributes step by step. Here, we added three attributes. Patient ID that identify patients, age of patient, glucose level of a patient. Every object created from this class will store its own values for these attributes. This is how each patient remains unique, even though they all follow the same blueprint. Let's slow down and take a closer look at self. This is a very important concept. In Python, self represents the current object being created or used. For example, when we write self.age equal age. So we are saying store age value inside this specific patient object. Why do we need self? Python needs a clear way to know which object it is working with. Without self, Python wouldn't know where to store the data. So every object has its own self. This is how each object keeps its data separate from all the other objects. It is the bridge that connects attributes and methods to the right object. Now let's create our very first patient object. This is the moment where our class turns into something real. Let's break it down. Patient is the class. It is the blueprint that describes what a patient should look like. P1 is the object created from that class. It represents one real patient in our AI system. The values we pass inside the parentheses go into the constructor. Python takes these values and assigns them to the object. So now, all this data, the patient ID, age, and glucose level is stored safely inside Q1. And just like that, we have created our first patient object. Now let's us create another object, P2, and assign different values into the constructor attributes. Now we have two patient objects. Both P1 and P2 are created from the same patient class. That means they follow the same blueprint, but the data inside them is different. Each object stores its own patient ID, age, and glucose level. Changing one patient will not affect the other. This is extremely important in healthcare datasets because every patient is unique, even though they share the same structure. And this is the real power of classes and objects in Python. In healthcare AI, data quality is not optional. Wrong values can break our models, or even worse, lead to unsafe or misleading predictions. That's why we don't blindly accept any input. We validate it. And the best place to do that is inside the constructor. Here's what's happening. Before storing any data, we first check it. If the age is negative, we stop immediately. If the glucose value is 0 or negative, we stop again. By raising an error, we prevent invalid patient data from ever entering our system. Only when the data passes these checks do we store it inside the object. This small step makes a big difference. In healthcare-focused AI work, validation like this is not just good practice. It is critical. Now let's understand objects versus dictionaries. At this point, you might be thinking, why not just use dictionaries? That's a fair question. A dictionary version of a patient might look like this. Dictionaries are good at storing data, but that's where they stop. They don't enforce structure, they don't validate values, and they don't connect behavior with the data. Anyone can add, remove, or change keys at any time. That makes mistakes easy and bugs hard to track. So objects solve these problems. They give us a clear structure, they let us protect logic like validation, and they bundle data and behavior together in one place. This is why machine learning libraries like NumPy, Pandas, Scikit-learn, and PyTorch are built using classes. They rely on structured objects to keep systems consistent, safe, and scalable. So far, our patient objects only store data. Now let's give them the ability to do something. Methods are simply functions that belong to a class. They describe actions an object can perform. Let's add a method to display patient information. Notice how the method uses self. That is how the method knows which patient it is working with. Now the patient object doesn't just store information, it can also act on its own data. This is the real strength of objects data and behavior living together in one place. Now let's call the method using our patient objects and see what happens. First, we use q1.display display info to call the method on patient 1. Look at the output. The patient ID, age, and glucose values are printed. These are the values stored inside object P1. Now let's call the same method using patient 2. P2.displayInfo. And there it is. The same method runs again, and this time it prints the information stored in both objects. Same class, same method, different objects. Each object uses its own data, and self makes that possible. In machine learning, future engineering is about turning raw data into values that a model can understand and learn from. We can keep this logic inside the class, right next to the data it works on. Here, extract underscore futures takes the patient's data and returns it in a form ready for machine learning. By keeping this logic inside the class, we keep the data and behavior together. The code becomes easier to read and manage. And as the system grows, each patient object knows exactly how to prepare its own futures. This is how object-oriented design helps us scale healthcare AI projects safely and efficiently. So far, we have seen how a single patient object works. Now let's see how to handle many patients at once. We create a list of patient objects, patients. Then for each patient, we call the extract underscore futures method. The result is a list of futures for all patients, ready to feed into a machine learning model. By using objects, each patient knows how to prepare its own data. This keeps our workflow clean, organized, and scalable. All right, let's zoom out and see the big picture. Here is how patient objects fit into a machine learning workflow. Patient objects store validated, reliable data. Methods extract futures from each patient. Futures are combined into datasets. Datasets are fed into model training. Using object-oriented design makes it easier to build systems that can grow safely and handle complexity. Today, you have learned how classes and objects work using a healthcare-focused example. You now know how to define a class, create objects, store patient data safely, add logic and features, prepare data for AI models. In the next videos, we will build on this foundation and explore more advanced machine learning workflows. Subscribe for more healthcare AI tutorials. Thanks for watching.